We've got some fresh images of 3I Atlas, a third ever interstellar object observed from Earth.
There's a secret hiding in plain sight buried in the data from the Mars Perseverance Rover. The official NASA press release mentions a faint image of the interstellar object 3I Atlas.
It looks like they detected that it doesn't look like a typical comet where you see tail of dust stretching away from the direction of the sun.
What they conveniently left out is the part of the observation that was immediately flagged by automated security protocols and locked away. The truth is, the agency can't show us what the rover really captured because it's terrifying. It's not just a comet. It's something else entirely, and its presence so close to Mars has raised alarms at the highest levels of government and science. 47 minutes of terror. Many people are crazy about space exploration, but not all things are what they seem. On October 3, 2025, as the interstellar object 3I Atlas made its closest approach to Mars, the world was told a simple story. NASA's Perseverance Rover, a nearly $3 billion marvel of engineering, dutifully turned its high-powered Mastcam-Z camera to the sky. The resulting image, released to the public, was, to put it mildly, underwhelming. It showed a faint, blurry spot against the backdrop of distant stars. Scientists confirmed this was indeed 3I Atlas, captured from a distance of roughly 28 million kilometers. A historic first, they called it, the first time an interstellar visitor was imaged from the surface of another world. But the thing nobody tells you is that this single sanitized image is a lie. Not a complete fabrication, but a lie of omission so profound it borders on a conspiracy. The real story began not with that single frame, but with the 47 minutes of observation that preceded it. The rover was programmed to track the object as it moved across the Martian sky, gathering a continuous stream of high-resolution data. According to the mission logs, everything was proceeding normally. Then, something happened. For a period of 12 seconds, the data stream from Perseverance went completely haywire. The telemetry showed a massive power surge to the Mastcam-Z, far beyond its operational limits, followed by an emergency shutdown of the imaging system. When it came back online, the rover's mission priorities had been remotely rewritten. Its new primary directive: cease all observations of 3I Atlas and resume geological surveys. What many overlooked in the initial press release was the mention of atmospheric interference. NASA reported a sudden increase in Martian surface activity, with dust devils swirling around the rover and a large dust storm brewing on the horizon. This was presented as a reason for the brief, blurry image. You can see this everywhere in official reports, blaming weather for technical glitches. But the timing was too perfect. The power surge and data corruption happened before the worst of the dust storm kicked up. The storm was a convenient excuse, a smokescreen to hide a terrifying truth. Sources who have seen the corrupted data packets from those 12 seconds describe something that simply does not make sense. They describe the faint smudge of 3I Atlas resolving. It wasn't a solid, elongated object like Oumuamua, nor a fuzzy snowball like Borisov. For a fleeting moment, the object seemed to unfurl. The data suggests a change in its physical structure, a rapid geometric expansion, almost like an umbrella opening in space. The most shocking fact is that the light polarization didn't just become stronger, it pulsed. The light reflecting off the object began to flash in a non-random rhythmic pattern. This wasn't natural light scattering off dust or ice. This was something else. A controlled, structured emission. This is the image NASA can't show you. An image of a supposed comet behaving like a piece of advanced technology. The terrifying aspect isn't just that it might be artificial, it's what the pulse might have been. A scan, a signal, or something far more sinister. The official story holds that the rover's systems were simply overwhelmed by a combination of solar radiation and Martian dust. But the internal memos tell a different story, one of confusion, disbelief, and a quiet, chilling fear. They captured something impossible, and now they are desperately trying to figure out what it means for us. The rover saw more than a comet. It witnessed an event. 33 billion tons of mystery. To understand why NASA is so spooked, we have to look past the classified images and dive into the bizarre physics of 3I Atlas itself. You see, even before its Martian flyby, this object was raising eyebrows in the astronomical community. Every new piece of data made it seem less like a comet and more like a cosmic riddle wrapped in an enigma. Let's start with its light. Scientists conducted the first ever polarimetric observations of the object, which is a fancy way of saying they studied how sunlight scattered off its surface. When light bounces off the dust around a normal comet, it becomes organized or polarized in a predictable way. But 3I Atlas was different. It showed an extremely strong negative polarization, far stronger than any of the thousands of comets ever recorded in our solar system. The data was so strange, many teams reran their calculations, assuming a technical error. There was none. This bizarre light signature suggests the dust grains surrounding 3I Atlas are made of a material or have a structure completely alien to our understanding of cometary formation. Then there's the sheer size of it. Early estimates already tagged 3I Atlas as a giant, at least 1,000 times more massive than typical comets. But as it got closer, scientists refined their models. The new estimate for its mass is over 33 billion tons. To put that in perspective, that's more than 5,000 times the mass of the Great Pyramid of Giza. A mountain-sized object, far larger than anything we thought could wander between stars and find its way here. The thing is, there simply isn't enough loose rocky material in interstellar space to build an object this massive and then send it hurtling into our solar system. The odds are astronomically small, yet here it is. What many overlooked is the object's behavior. As 3I Atlas neared the sun, it began to heat up and release a cloud of gas, a process called outgassing. For any other comet, this is like firing tiny rocket thrusters. The escaping gas should have pushed the object, altering its trajectory ever so slightly. It's a fundamental principle of cometary science, but 3I Atlas refused to obey. Despite being surrounded by a visible cloud of gas, its path remained perfectly, unnervingly predictable. It moved as if the gas wasn't there at all, holding its course with a precision that defies physics. Some scientists have tried to explain this by suggesting it's incredibly dense, but that only deepens the mystery. A natural object that dense and that massive is a contradiction in terms. And you can see this contradiction everywhere in the data. The most shocking fact is its chemical composition. Analysis of the gas cloud revealed elements consistent with the surface of a planet like Mars, not the icy depths of space where comets are born. It's as if a piece of another world was torn away and sent on a journey across the stars. The object isn't just big, it's behaving with an unnatural resilience. Too perfect to be random. If you look at any single anomaly surrounding 3I Atlas, you might be able to explain it away with some creative science. But when you start connecting the dots, a pattern emerges. A pattern so unlikely it makes the hair on your arm stand up. The thing nobody tells you about 3I Atlas is its trajectory. Of all the infinite directions an interstellar object could come from, it arrived on a path that is almost perfectly aligned with the ecliptic plane. That's the flat, pancake-like disk where all the planets in our solar system orbit. The odds of this happening by chance are less than 1%. It's like throwing a dart from a mile away and hitting not just the dartboard but the bullseye. But it gets even stranger. The timing of its arrival seems, to put it mildly, engineered. Its path was perfectly timed to make close passes not just by Mars, but also by Venus and Jupiter. It's a grand tour of our solar system, a flyby sequence that would take NASA decades of planning and billions of dollars to replicate. Yet this comet is doing it effortlessly. It's as if it has an appointment with our solar system. And many people are crazy about these kinds of coincidences, but this one is hard to dismiss. What many overlooked is where it came from. The direction in space from which 3I Atlas arrived is aligned within 9 degrees of the famous WOW signal. For those who don't know, the WOW! Signal was a powerful narrowband radio signal detected in 1977 that for a brief 72 seconds looked exactly like what we would expect from an extraterrestrial intelligence. It has never been detected again. Professor Avi Loeb, a renowned astrophysicist from Harvard, has pointed out that these coincidences are piling up to a breaking point. He argues that the scientific community needs to seriously consider the possibility that 3I Atlas is not a natural object. The forward jet of scattered sunlight 10 times longer than it is wide, the Martian-like chemical signature, the impossible mass, the defiance of physics, it all points to something more. You see, the most shocking fact is not any single piece of evidence, but all of them together. It paints a picture of an object that is not just passing through, but is here for a reason. An object that came from the direction of a potential alien signal, that is flying on the highway of the planets, and that timed its arrival for a perfect tour. Is it a probe, a messenger, or something else? These aren't coincidences, they're clues pointing to a startling conclusion. Connecting the cosmic dots. So let's take a breath and look at what we're really dealing with. NASA gives us an official story, a blurry photo, a strange comet, nothing more. Just another rock passing by, they say. But then there's the other side. The side that doesn't fit so neatly into a press release, a classified event on Mars. A moment caught by the rover where an object in the Martian sky didn't just move. It changed, it shifted its shape, pulsed with a rhythmic light like it was alive. And when experts ran the numbers, what they found made no sense at all. This thing, whatever it was, had a mass of 33 billion tons. It moved like it weighed nothing. It glowed with a spectrum no natural object should emit. And the material? It didn't match comets or asteroids. It looked like it came from a rocky planet. Then there's the path, the one thing that truly gives it away. The trajectory of 3I Atlas is so precise, so perfectly timed, it feels less like nature and more like intent. Like something or someone designed it that way. A planned flyby, a mission. And that's where this stops being a science story and becomes something else entirely. People watching this are hungry for a mystery, and the mystery here might be the biggest of all time. Are we really supposed to swallow the idea that this is all coincidence? A random rock that just happens to change shape, emit structured light, and pass right through the most heavily monitored region of our solar system? Or are we missing the obvious, the possibility we've all been trained to dismiss? Maybe 3I Atlas isn't a comet. Maybe it's a machine. A probe sent by a civilization so advanced it can travel between stars without us even noticing. The implications are almost too big to comprehend. If that's true, then the story of humanity changes overnight. We're not alone. We never were. And suddenly we have to ask, why now? Why this moment after all these centuries of silence? Think about the timing. The world is on the brink of another space race. NASA, SpaceX, China, all racing toward Mars. Humanity is reaching out farther than ever before, and just as we do, something reaches in, something from beyond. Is it curiosity, surveillance, or a warning? Whatever it is, its arrival feels deliberate, not random, not accidental, but planned long before our species even existed. And yet NASA stays silent. No press conferences, no high-resolution images. Just the same recycled words. Unidentified, likely natural, nothing to worry about. But behind those words, the silence grows louder. If this were nothing, why classify the rover footage? Why restrict access to telemetry data from the day of the Mars sighting? Why the sudden shift in orbital tracking logs filed under internal review? It all fits a pattern, the pattern of containment. Because this isn't just about a comet, it's about control. How do you tell a planet full of people that something out there, something powerful, something ancient, just arrived uninvited? You don't. You give them a distraction. A photo blurred enough to raise doubt, an explanation vague enough to sound safe. You mention dust storms. You throw in a few words about camera glitches, and you count on most people to move on. But not everyone moves on. A handful of astronomers, engineers, and analysts have been comparing notes, piecing together the fragments NASA didn't show, and what they found paints a chilling picture. The object didn't just pass Mars, it slowed down. Its velocity dropped just enough to suggest propulsion. Not the random deceleration of a natural body, but a controlled adjustment, as if it were taking a closer look. And then there's the pulse. That rhythmic flashing pattern seen by the Mars rover's infrared sensors wasn't random light. When analyzed, it formed a repeating binary sequence, one that some experts believe might be a code. A message, short, simple, but deliberate, as if it wanted to be seen, as if it wanted to be found. They're hiding the truth about 3I Atlas, but the evidence is out there. What do you think its true purpose is? Let us know below. Like and subscribe for more secrets.